Hello, hello. Am I up? Is this up? Is this up? Hello. Okay, now I see that it's up. So today I'm going to record the status update. We get inspired by this and copy paste the questions quickly. Boop. Yo. How's it going? Yeah, it's running. Nice. I'm going to... So, since the last update, this is like 1, 2, 3. Since the last update, and I guess just to mention the clothes thing. And how do you feel about your money situation right now? Spending. How is my health? Medical tests in October, etc. And past, I mentioned reading. Not a lot of that right now. Playing RimWorld, but I finished this colony in a bit. I saw the DGQ is playing RimWorld Steam notification. Nice. So I think, okay, before starting, let's better, more sense of purpose. Let's see, let's check out this, what I said in the previous video for this point. How do you feel about your joint situation daily activities right now? I mentioned before about my routines are getting back on track to be a bit healthier and a bit more oriented to the things that I think I have to grapple with and all of this, like reading, the things I'm reading, and working a little bit, getting a little bit healthier in that sense. And in the job employment situation, I am feeling hopeful, and I think also I think that even though it will cut off things like that I've been very consistent with, like streaming and all of this, I do feel hopeful in the sense that it will bring a new spin to the times when I do stream. Right? I think that now the focus of my life, etc., is like this online world, and that is bad. Right? I feel like making the focus of my life the fucking train thing will make the online part better. I think it is kind of. I failed at that prediction, I think. But I had thought it would make stream content better, and so far I don't think it is the case. It's been the case. I'm not bothered about it. Not too bothered about it. But still. Arts, pastimes you'd like to learn or practice? Not really. How I perceive them. What did I say here? Then, art, pastimes you'd like to learn and practice. I think video games. This is like the main thing that I feel like until I start with that, it's going to be like video games basically, or YouTube videos, and nothing else. And then I guess this counts as giving me like this opportunity to learn German deeper. Right? It is kind of that. I guess that continues to be true. Environment. Still feel constrained. Intuition. what really makes me happy, who really makes me happy, interesting. Friendship. How do you feel about feeling your intuition lately? So and so, let's say. How do you feel about the equally constrained? Not sure. I think this status update is going to be long and annoying again instead of structured, because this I'm writing very little about each topic. But yeah, I think fuck it. So let's go. Maybe do something like this. And status update. I'm cold. So, status update, November 2024. It's been 2 months since the last one, so I thought it was a good time to do it. And yeah, since the last update, what has happened? In the last update, I mentioned that I was on track. Well, I mentioned what did I do during the summer, and I also mentioned that I was on track for this opportunity as a train driver, to become a train driver in this kind of training program. And I got accepted. I was in the interview stage back then. I got accepted, and I have started doing the German classes that are related to this train driver stuff. And yeah, basically that. How has that been? Good, I would say. How has that been so far? Good. It started with online classes pretty shortly after that interview. After the interviews, then I went into real life classes, and I am still on that real life classes stage. It's fine. We have switched the teachers. The first teacher was German Italian. This one is like German, and the earlier stages were interesting for some reasons. This the stage that I'm in now is also interesting because the teacher used to be a train driver, so he talks about this train driver stuff. So I feel kind of more in the mindset of, oh, okay, I'm doing this, right? I'm becoming a train driver. Versus in the earlier stages where maybe that was less of a thing, right? I felt more like I was going to German class, right? Right now I feel both of those things at the same time. Then the next thing I mention here is clothes. I will touch on this in the questions below. But yeah, since I now get paid to learn German a little bit, I have been buying some clothes. I wanted to mention it. I don't know. This is new. Some things is new. I don't know. It's like some new thing that has happened, I guess. Then, in the past updates, I mentioned reading, so I'm not doing a lot of that right now. And something that I forgot to write here, but that I am doing is running. I have started running, I guess, in October or so. in preparation for my 10,000th day on Earth, where I'm going to attempt to run 10K or walk fast 10K. And yeah, so far I'm running accordingly to the program that Claude made for me, based on a Couch to 10K program, etc. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on. Other activities. Mainly eating out. And test driving a car soon. Maybe. Some other activities that I've been doing. Mainly eating out and test driving. I'm test driving a car soon. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, basically there are very few activities because I'm going to talk about what has been going on in some of the questions next. So on to the questions. Question number 1. How do you feel about your money situation right now? I'm obviously better than before because now I have actual income. I have received my first paycheck, 800 euros. The problem is that now I have spent way too much compared to what I earn, right? I don't earn as much as I want for my goals, right? Now I now have goals that I could accomplish if I contained myself, and I have been not containing myself too much, spending in these clothes things, for example, right? I've been spending too much in some aspects, like for example eating out or these clothes things, and I'm not saving up enough for some goals that I have, right? Like getting a laptop for when I go to Germany, those kind of things. But I do have to say that it is an upgrade, right? For example, now I don't feel, I guess, kind of anxious that I'm not going to be able to pay for food, not for food, but like for eating out with my friends on the weekends, right? That used to be kind of something that ate at me a little bit, right? Now I'm more calm about it. Next question. How do you feel about your job, employment situation, daily activities right now? I feel, I guess, better. I feel more of a sense of purpose in some sense, right? I feel like at least it's on a path to somewhere, right? Which is nice. I had said on the video before, right, on the past status of the video in September, I had said that I thought this would make for better streams too, right? I would feel better about my stream activities and all that. And I don't think that is the case, right? I don't think that this going into the real world and doing real things like learning German, etc., I don't think that has translated into me having better ideas or like me being more expressive or in here, like having more things to tell, etc. I don't think that has entirely been the case, to be honest. But about my day-to-day activities, I feel okay. I just wrote that German class is the main activity, and I feel good about that, right? I do feel good about being paid to go to German class. I do like learning a new language. I think it's useful, right? And I'm doing well in that regard. I had already some level, so I'm top of the class, you could say. And I like more or less, I like the idea of it, right? The actual class itself has ups and downs, obviously. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit boring. I used to feel better about it with the other teacher. I felt like it was a bit more engaging then versus now. Now I feel like I zone out more easily with this new teacher, but on the counterpart, he does talk about the strain thing, which has some interesting moments as well. But I feel like the vibe has been brought down versus before, right? And vibe is important. So in that sense, I feel like it has been a downgrade to the past teacher. But yeah, overall, I don't mind. I feel like it's a more productive. I feel like more productive, right? I feel like I am doing something at least, which is nice, right? My daily activities, my daily routine feels a little bit better. It doesn't feel perfect. For example, I would like to change some things. I would like more flexibility, but I think I will talk more about that in the environment question. Hello, by the way. Not sure who's here, but hello. I'm recording a status update. Next question. Art pastimes that I'd like to learn or practice. This question remains as like a confirmation of the response I gave in the last status update of September 2024. So same as before, just keeping it at German, giving me permission to just focus on this and not thinking of other pastimes, other things to do, other things to learn, and maybe video games. In the other one, I answered video games. In this one, maybe the same. On Saturdays and Sundays, I play video games with my friends. But I see that as more of a social activity rather than a playing game thing. But yeah, I think that the German itself is already pretty like an interesting activity to be doing and an interesting pastime, I guess, which it is the main activity. But I think I also have to do homework and I have to watch stuff sometimes, create Anki cards. I do that pretty not often. I do that pretty seldom. But yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like I want to, for example, some of the things that I could want to do, like play music or record more videos or those kind of things, I feel more constrained in time, in terms of like time, terms of location. I don't know. Maybe I could add more videos, right? More videos, channels, etc. Doing more of those things, maybe outside with my phone after running, thinking of those kind of things. Maybe. But yeah, and maybe also I could add running here. Running. I have been doing this, so this is like the first thing, one of the first things I do some days, and yeah, I guess I could include it. How do I feel about the environment I live in right now? In this case, everything is equally bad, I would say. I don't think a lot has changed. I had hopes that I would be able to, I don't know, get away with more things. And in a sense, I have been eating out a little bit more, those kind of things, but I still feel pretty constrained in those terms. I still feel like I have to give too much of a heads up. I feel like I don't have as much leeway to, I don't know, hang around after class, for example, or to do things in the mornings without having to yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot of spontaneity. Not partially because I live so far away, partially because of who I live, right? I live with my parents and because they cook for me, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel kind of constrained about that. I don't want to ask for things, those kind of things. So I feel constrained in that sense. Hello, by the way. Well, I'm not sure if there are actually two people, because it says there are two people, but it says that I only have one view. Not one viewer, but like one view on the video. Like the cumulative count of views that the video has gotten. Only have one. So I'm like, is YouTube glitching? What the fuck? But yeah, that's how I feel about the environment. I forgot to mention one thing. I'm as always going to dance around this thing, but it's just, I guess, like a reminder for future me when I watch this status update. Something strange happened, and that made me pretty uncomfortable, and that is one of the things that makes me feel not particularly great about the environment that I live in. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I probably will guess what I'm referring to this November 2024. Lol. Yeah, not super explanatory, but I guess I will know what I mean, right? Maybe not. Maybe I will forget. Incident. Oh, good that you will know, because for me that was just no information at all. Yeah, I know that. Let's say that it's related to the channel, to the new channel that I want to make, that it's like, that it's related to that thing, to that kind of topic. So if I were to discuss it, it would be on that separate room, you could say room. How do you feel about following your intuition lately? Let's see what I've written here. So. I guess this ties into the above. How do you feel about following your intuition recently? That's the next question. And I wrote so as the answer. Pretty not eloquent. And I guess this ties into the previous into the previous question, right? It's like, if you live in an environment where you feel a little bit constrained, right? It's like following your intuition becomes harder, right? So, for example, if my intuition tells me that I should do something, right? And I'm like, oh, I have to ask X and Y before, or I have to ask for permission, then it's like you start to question your intuition, right? You start to be like, oh, there are steps between following my intuition and like that kind of thing, right? So I feel so and so about it, right? I also feel so and so about the intuition for things like what I mentioned in the employment situation before, right? I had thought that my videos, etc., my streams would have more content to talk about. I would have more ideas and all of this, and that hasn't happened, right? It's like, instead, German class has not made me more. Yeah, it hasn't made me more creative or something like this, right? It has. The opposite has happened. I guess I have talked about on stream about how I feel more stupid. Well, so yeah, I guess I feel kind of bad about my intuition in that sense. Okay. But I don't know. I make it sound too negative. I am doing like kind of new things, right? I am going to try to test drive a car in the future, but there are always setbacks with these kind of things, right? I've gone to try new places eating out, and I have liked them. I've gone to a concert, and yeah, it was a great concert. So it was like a good idea to go to the concert, for example. And Yeah, so it's not that I feel entirely bad, right? I guess that's the so-and-so part, the good part of the so-and-so answer, right? I have been following it a little bit, and yeah. Also with the clothes thing, for example, I feel so-and-so with that intuition as well, right? I think that something is going to look good and send some kind of message, and then it turns out it doesn't send the kind of message that I want, or they don't like it that much, that kind of thing, right? Now to the next question. I guess all of these answers are related to each other, right? There are only like so many things that happen to me in that sense. So what really makes me happy? New stuff to an extent. I was thinking about the clothes thing, for example, since that's what I've been spending a lot of my money. It's like that shit better make me happy, right? It doesn't. That's the to an extent side. It's just fucking clothes, to be honest. So it's not like super fulfilling in the long term, right? But the experimentation and the, I guess, thinking that it's taking me somewhere, something like that, that is something that does give fulfillment, or that does make me think, okay, good, that's positive, right? Something like that, maybe. Doing well in German, does it make me happy? I'm not sure, right? Eating good food, does it make me happy? I don't know. It's like, it's good when I eat it and I like it, but it is pretty short, right? It is a short-lived experience. For example, I spend way more time watching videos about good food than eating good food. And that's interesting, right? It's like the eating part of the good food is so short. Whether you make it yourself, whether you go somewhere to eat it, and it's so expensive. It's like, to what extent is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe cooking it yourself is like less expensive. It takes more time, so it's like you are building some kind of skill in the process. But the point of the skill is to get a good result, right? So if the result is so short-lived, I don't know. Maybe that's like a lesson in life or something. For example, I'm also thinking of like the test drive. It's like, why am I even going to a test drive tomorrow? I know I'm not going to buy the car. It's like a 70,000 euro car. I'm not getting it. Why am I going to drive it for like 15 minutes in a fucking industrial area where you can't even go that fast or like enjoy it that much? What is the point of it? I guess like it's like the first new seconds are cool, right? Is that the coolest part? Is the coolest part to own it? Is that more annoying? Would the coolest peak part, the most enjoyment you can get, or like the most marginal enjoyment you can get out of it, would be like renting it for a week or something like that, right? Maybe that's probably like the sweet spot. I don't know. Hard question. I can't answer the happiness question in this status update November 2024. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Bad question to move on because it's again about happiness. Who really makes me happy? I've written friendship here because I really don't have a lot else. Well, I do have family a little bit, right? But as I said about before in the environment, I don't feel that like that is bringing me happiness, as you could say, right? I obviously don't hate my family or anything like this, right? Don't get me wrong, but it's not a source of like happiness or something like in the way a father who really loves their kid feels about their kid. It's like, oh yeah, this is everything to me, right? It's not like this, right? It's not that kind of sensation or like that kind of feeling. Meanwhile, friendship, it is a bit like that, right? It is a bit like, okay, it's like when I hang out with my friends from that I've had all life, right? I've mentioned in these status updates probably over the years that I get annoyed sometimes, that I get tired of the same discussions every day, etc., etc. But lately, I've been feeling happier about it, right? I've been feeling like, interesting, right? I still feel concerned in the same ways I still felt concerned in all those times, but those concern feelings kind of dissolve a little bit, and I don't know, I'm gaining back appreciation for it, for those times. I don't know, maybe because I have a routine, so I see some people who are not actually my friends yet, right? And I see people who are actually my friends, right? So maybe that contrast helps. Who knows? Is it for the car you talked about before? Yeah. It's like the car. I think, did I mention yesterday that the test drive got rescheduled? It's like the girl rescheduled me. Yeah, I think I mentioned, because I think I used the word bitch to refer to her yesterday. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Yeah. The test drive, I had it for Tuesday last week. I booked parking for some kind of fucking parking close to my university. Sorry, my university, to my German academy, right? I paid for it. And the fucking girl tells me on Monday, can I reschedule you? I can't do Tuesday, blah, 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 right? So I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, she could reschedule it for Wednesday, but I didn't want to do it on Wednesday because I was going to run on Wednesday morning. And if I didn't run on Wednesday morning, I had something on Thursday, so I would have to run on Friday, and I didn't want to run Monday, Friday, Sunday. I preferred running Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, which is what I did, right? So I rescheduled it myself for next week, which was Monday, tomorrow. I'm skeptical that I'm going to actually get to test drive the car. Well, I think I'm going to actually get it to sit on it a little bit or something, or maybe take me around, but I don't feel too hopeful about it because I've been rescheduled, and that feels bad, right? Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, it's about that. It's like this, same car. Makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I put myself on someone who is like buying the car, on the shoes of someone who is buying the car. It's like, how would you feel about it, right? I don't know. I would feel kind of second tier, right? It's like I would be kind of mad. I would be like, okay, why am I getting rescheduled, right? I don't know. It's like why is not the other person getting like? Well, she didn't say that it was to meet with another person. It's about why. I don't know. It's like, why can't the other thing be the thing that gets rescheduled instead of me, right? Anyways, I wanted to add something about like internet people, I guess, right? Internet people. But I don't know how to word it. Internet people, I'm going to say. I have also added internet people, right? For some reason, I do feel like internet people still make me happy. I could have like 3 categories, right? For example, celebrities, YouTubers, etc., right? Parasocial, let's say. Well, everything is parasocial on the internet, but like celebrities, etc., right? Well, not celebrities, kind of YouTubers or influencers, let's say, right? Influencers. There are a couple of YouTubers whose videos do make me happy, right? And for example, there is a couple who got married and all that, and I was like, I don't know, I wasn't like moved to tears to like being crying myself, but well, maybe a couple of tears in the wedding video at the end, right? Maybe, but yeah, it's interesting, right? I like the videos. That is something that I do think makes me happy, right? Even though it's not like a real relationship, obviously, right? Also, Twitter people, right? Twitter people. I see Twitter every day and all this, right? So these weeks have been like US election season, so it's not exactly like the best time to appreciate friendship and all of this, blah, blah, blah. But and it's not exactly like I do talk to a lot of people in private, etc. But I don't know. I don't know. It's still something I do every day, right? And I want to acknowledge that I do it every day because I like it, right? I like being on Twitter. I like seeing what the people have to say, thinking about new things, and like appreciating those little moments. For example, reading something and seeing that someone shared some article or something. I read the article and it's something interesting that I hadn't read before, and I'm like, okay, this is why I'm here on Twitter, right? This is why I'm reading Twitter every day, right? To see these kinds of articles, to see these kind of new perspectives, those kind of things, right? I do think that makes me happy. And then I wanted to shout out Hanio, who is watching right now. Hanio, my YouTube streamer, my YouTube viewer. Yesterday I thought of it, right? And I was like, even just like a small thing, like for example, me asking what topic should I make videos that are 1 minute long about, right? And getting answers was like good, right? And I was like, yeah, I was pretty happy to get answers, right? It's pretty crazy, right? That I can ask a camera. I'm here in my room. I'm alone in my house. Well, not alone in my house, but yeah, you get what I mean, right? It's like from pretty far away, like 2,000 kilometers away. I can be like, what should I make 2 minute long videos about? And like I get answers from Hanio, and also Quadro gave a couple of answers, right? I was like, that's cool, right? I was like pretty happy about that also. Yeah. Well, I don't know what the other thing is, but in her mind, it's probably more important than a test drive for a random guy. She doesn't know and probably thinks she won't buy the car. Yeah, I know. Maybe I was like, yeah, but imagine that I'm someone who actually wants to buy the car, right? It's like if you think that about me, or I don't know. I also don't want to think badly. Maybe she just had like something really important. I don't know. But yeah, it's like if it was something really important, something really important that just happened to fall on the time when I was scheduled to go in. Okay, sounds suspicious, right? It's like if it was really important to begin with, it probably would have been scheduled from beforehand, right? If it was some kind of emergency or something, maybe. I don't know. It's like, yeah. I'm glad I could actually give you an answer. Anyways, if I get rescheduled, I don't know. Maybe it's like, yeah, I guess it is a downside of not doing it with honesty from the beginning, right? Not, yeah, I will say honesty. I wouldn't say I've been deceitful, but I will say that I have not gone with the full honesty firsthand, right? If I went full honest firsthand, I could be like, yeah, I'm not interested in buying the car, but I got the advertisement, right? So I think maybe it's good for you that you get blah, 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 right? I don't know. Maybe I could have had a conversation on the phone then about it, right? And maybe that would have saved me this kind of facade game. Yeah, maybe that is a good reflection, to be honest. Maybe that is probably something I should think about. But for tomorrow, I will try to test drive it as this kind of game, right? It's sometimes enjoyable to play these games, right? The problem is when you get rescheduled, right? That is, I guess, a failure on the game, right? I've played the game wrong or something like this, right? It's like if I get rescheduled in the first place, it's a bad sign, right? It's a sign that I have not played the game well enough, right? If I want to play the game, I should go all in on the game, right? I should not go halfway, right? If I want to present as someone who wants to buy the car, I have to be more confident, right? And I have to act more like someone like that, right? I can't go halfway. And the last question, how is my health? This is related to this kind of train driver position, and I think it's new information in this status update 2024, November 2024. And it's actually something that I had mentioned. I wanted to check out a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. I was thinking about back pain, posture, and dental things. Okay. So I was not actually thinking about these things too much. Sorry, I was not actually thinking about the things that have happened. But yeah, I was thinking about those things, to be honest. So basically, I got medical tests for this train driver thing, and this is the reason why I have not been thinking too much about art or pastimes, or I have not been following my intuition to the most extent that I could have, right? Because I have been kind of busy, not super busy, but kind of getting my routine interrupted by things that were medical related, right? For example, going to blood tests and like a couple of times, blah 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 blah, right? Getting results for this and having to go to the consult to see what the doctor says 2 times, those kind of things. And I got some results, right? So basically, it's like I was suspected of pre-diabetes or something like this. And more or less, the suspicions are kind of over, right? The suspicions are kind of over. But I'm in check, and now I have kind of high uric acid. And yeah, the suspicions are kind of over, but I'm being checked kind of for it, right? So I have to go again in a couple of months to see how this thing evolves. And now I have like high uric acid, so I had to change my diet a little bit. Well, I didn't change a lot, but my parents have to change the diet a little bit. And yeah, that's basically the biggest change that I have been going through these days in health-related sense, right? It's like my health has been checked, and this is the result that I have had. And some other things that I mentioned before were like back pain and dental things, and I have not addressed those yet. Right? I think I still earn too little money to check for those, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe it's a scarcity mindset, maybe not. Maybe they could be like some of the better investments, to be honest. Maybe physiotherapy or like going to a physiotherapist or something like that could actually be something that I could do. I don't know. I will have to think about it. Someone was meant to come here twice now, and each time I had to skip uni or work, and each time they didn't show up. So I was also a bit mad. They want to check the radiators or something. That sucks. Hausmeister or something like that. Okay, this was it. This was status update November 2024. Thank you for watching, and I will probably leave the list of my playlist of all of the past status updates in case you are curious about it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Okay, so now to upload it, subir. Win2 2024 11:01:10. This video, boop, 1 gig, so crazy. Status update November 2024. Since the last update, how do you feel about the money situation? How do you feel about your employment situation? Okay, and now click. So, status update November 2024. It's been 2 months since the last one, so I thought it was a good time to do it. And yeah, since the last update, what has happened? In the last update, I mentioned that I was on track. Well, I mentioned this one is been going on. Some other activities that I've been doing, mainly eating out and test driving. I'm test driving a car soon. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, basically there are very few activities because I'm going to talk about what has been going on in some of the questions next. 0310 and let's see 0311 or something. So on to the questions. Question number 1. How do you feel about your money situation right now? I've dreams too, right? I would feel very calm about it. 0426. Top of the class, you could say, and like it has been as like a better. It doesn't feel perfect. For example, I would like to change some things. I would like more flexibility, but I think I will talk more about that in the environment question. Next question, art pastimes that I'd like to learn or practice. This question remains some days and stuff. I had hopes that about this. But yeah, and maybe also I could add running here. I have been doing this, so this is like the first thing, one of the first things I do some days, and yeah, I guess I could include it. How do I feel about the environment I live in right now? So yeah, all about it. Do you feel about and yeah, I'll leave it at that. I probably will guess what I'm referring to. This November 2024. How do you feel about following your intuition recently? Guess what I'm referring to. This November 2024. How do you feel about following your intuition recently? That's the next question. There are, and then it turns out like super extent. I've written, I was thinking, and then it turns out it doesn't send the kind of message that I want, or I don't like it that much. That kind of thing, right? Now to the next question. I guess all of these answers are related to each other, right? There are only like so many things that happen to me in that sense. So what really makes me happy? New stuff to it's like a 7 happiness, as you could say, right? answer the happiness question in this status update November 2024. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Bad question to move on because it's again about happiness. Who really makes me happy? I don't know. Hard question. I can't answer the happiness question in this status update November 2024. So yeah, moving on to the next question. 1554. Bad question to move on because it's again about happiness. Who really makes me happy? I've written friendship here because I really don't have a lot else. Well, I do have family a little bit, right? But as I said about before in the environment, I don't feel that like that is bringing me happiness, as you could say, right? I obviously don't hate my family or anything like this, right? Don't get me wrong, but it's not a source of like happiness or something like in the way a father who really loves their kid feels about their kid. It's like, oh yeah, this is everything to me, right? It's not like this, right? It's not this thing that I hadn't read before, right? That I can, this kind of train driver, like 2,000 kilometers away, I can be like, what should I make 2-minute long videos about? And like I get answers from Hanio, and also Quadro gave a couple of answers, right? I was like, that's cool. Right? I was like pretty happy about that also. Yeah. And the last question, how is my health? This is related to this kind of train. 2012. That's the next 100 videos, also status updates. Not created for whatever. Let's see. Autogen. Add the last playlist. Status updates. Something that I could do. I don't know. I will have to think about it. Okay, this was it. This was status update November 2024. Thank you for watching, and I will probably leave the list of my playlist of all of the past status updates in case you are curious about it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye. End card. Copyright check. So yeah, it will check the video for 10 minutes. Oh, I had a question before I end stream. Let's see. Würde sein. Do you say this? The equivalent is like wäre, right? Or hätte, something like that, right? But if you say würde sein or würde haben, what do you think when someone says that? Does it sound like a kid talking who doesn't get the language? It's like we have some words in Spanish like that as well. For example, instead of saying yo sé, you say yo sepo or yo sabo. That's like a kid conjugating the verb badly. And you can tell that is like a kid failure, right? It also doesn't sound foreign for some reason, right? It sounds like a kid. But I was wondering, does würde sein sound like that? Wait. Futur 1 sein. Wird morgen angekommen sein. maybe it doesn't sound that weird, but with the würde, it's like the word wäre exists, right? Well, with something in between, right? Like, ich würde traurig sein or something. Yeah, something like that. Konjunktiv 2 Präteritum. Wäre, wärest, wäre, wären. So würde sein would be kind of wäre, right? But if you say it, what happens? Sounds a bit off, but it technically is not wrong. Same with haben, right? Ich würde haben, ich würde etwas haben. Ich würde das haben. Ich hätte gern ein neues Auto. Ich würde gern ein neues Auto haben. Würde gewesen sein. Konjunktiv 2, Futur 1. Ich würde sein. Let's look up Konjunktiv 2, Futur 1 to see what this is. I will use wäre over würde sein. Ich würde in Zukunft gerne ein Auto haben. In what sense is ich würde in Zukunft ein Auto haben different than ich hätte gerne ein Auto haben? No, ich hätte gerne ein Auto. Ich hätte gerne is now, right? You would like the car now, but you would like it. Ich würde in Zukunft. In Spain gustaría, we would use both. Me gustaría tener un coche. Ich hätte gern ein Auto. Ich würde gern ein Auto haben. And here would you use it? Ich würde in Zukunft gerne ein Lokführer sein. Ich wäre gerne ein Lokführer. That was the question I had. Ich würde gerne in Zukunft ein Auto haben oder ich hätte gerne in Zukunft ein Auto would pretty much be the same. You could say both. No one would mind, I think. Interesting. What about with sein? I would probably use wäre and hätte. So if they mean the same and you would use one over the other is kind of worse, I guess. So it doesn't mean anything different, right? It doesn't communicate anything different. I was hoping it had like a small kind of change that maybe sounded different to mean a different thing or something. Because, for example, with singen here, würde singen. Wenn ich an deiner Stelle wäre, würde ich Deutsch lernen. Würde ich Deutsch lernen. Here, you have to use the würde, right? But if it's like, wenn ich an deiner Stelle wäre, I don't know, I was expecting some kind of change, I don't know. I would say it's similar, like it's not or isn't. You would probably shorten it, but you wouldn't mind if someone does not. Maybe a bit of a bad example. Yeah, I guess it's not exactly the same, right? Isn't, I think, is like, if you say isn't, and if you write it in a formal email, you write is not, right? But yeah. And I guess wäre, the contraction is still okay when you, or maybe it's like even better if you do it like that in a formal email, right? If you write a formal email and you write wäre, you write würde sein, maybe people are like, something is weird about this, right? Ich hätte dich geliebt wie keine andere. Wenn ich an deiner Stelle wäre, würde ich Deutsch lernen. I guess I should do it, right? Ich sollte. Ich soll. Ich hätte gern eine Coca-Cola. Eine Cola. Er meint, er würde gut singen. Konjunktiv 1. Was ist das? Er sei 30 Jahre alt. We haven't seen this one yet. This one seems like pretty advanced. Hans sagt, dass er Durst habe. Juan sagt, indicative sin das, aunque a veces se escucha en la calle. Juan sagt, dass er Durst hat. Dass er Durst habe. I like to say, ich könnte, wenn ich wollte, aber dann müsste ich ja, aber ich habe keine Lust. Ich konnte, wenn ich wollte, aber dann musste ich ja, aber ich habe keine Lust. Like, I could if I wanted to, but then I'd have to, but I don't feel like it. I could if I wanted to, but then I'd have to. But I don't feel like it. Lol. Ich könnte, wenn ich wollte, aber dann müsste ich ja, aber ich habe keine Lust. Funny. Thank you for the German lesson. Maybe one day I will ask you to do some kind of practice exam or something like that. But like the talking one, mündliche Prüfung or something. For you, it should be really easy. It's literally saying shit like, I could show you. Look, Telk B1. Prüfung Model Test PDF. It's like this. You present each other, like you introduce each other, einander kennenlernen, then you get this Gruppenreisen. Ich verreise gern in eine Gruppe or something like that. And then this guy is the opposite. Daher reise ich immer allein. And then you have to do this kind of exercise. I would like to probably this one, right? To do this one. Sie haben 2 Wochen Urlaub gemacht und in dieser Zeit einige nette Deutsche kennengelernt. Vor dem Ende des Urlaubs und bevor ihre Bekannten alle wieder nach Hause fahren, möchte sie eine Abschiedsparty feiern. Sie haben die Aufgabe, zusammen mit ihrem Gesprächspartner, ihrer Gesprächspartnerin, diese Party zu planen. Überlegen Sie sich, was alles zu tun ist und wer welche Aufgaben übernimmt. Sie haben sich schon diese Liste gemacht. Wann, wo, Essen, Getränke, wer bezahlt wofür? Sure, no problem, glad to be of help. Entscheiden Sie zuerst, was Sie machen möchten und warum. Tragen Sie Ihrem Partner Ihre Ideen vor und begründen Sie sie. Reagieren Sie auf die Ideen Ihres Partners beziehungsweise Ihrer Partnerin und die Begründungen. Einigen Sie sich auf einen gemeinsamen Programmvorschlag. So I think I'm ending the stream. Today no one has called me or texted me to play PUBG. That's why I'm not sure if I should end it now. Maybe I should take advantage of this last 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Not to do this. This was something, but maybe to go over, for example, the ideas from yesterday. What will I do when I go to Germany? For example, a video topic. Fuck it, I could fire this one quickly, right? What will I do when I go to Germany? Oxygen. That's also fine. Maybe not before I go to Germany. Sorry, not when, but like before I go, right? No, it's like because I am actually going to Germany, right? It's like as I am going to Germany. Because the one was like, the video was called, what will I do if I don't? So the other video was like, what will I do when I go? What will I do because I am going? What do I have to do because I'm going? Okay, so go to the what will I do? What do I want to do before I go to Germany? Okay, I can actually tweet this now. Publico, copiar, publicar. Let's quickly tweet it. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why doesn't it let me tweet? Let me tweet! Status update November 2024. Bloop. List. Cerrar. Wait, what did I tweet the previous day? Did I include all of these things? From Cosco Drift. Status update September. Fuck it, let's do it like this. Control A, Control V, present las update like this. Question, blah, 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 blah. Boom. 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 Previous status update. Previous status update. Bloop. And playlist. Playlist of status updates. Control O. Basically, this is the things that I had. What do I want to do before I move to Germany? I have made this small little list before moving to Germany. Packing, hard drives. Wait, let me... What do I want to do before I move to Germany? Did that show? Fuck it, let's redo. What do I want to do before I move to Germany? I made this video a couple of 4 months ago that was titled "What will I do if I don't go to Germany?" where I talked about the things that I would do if I didn't go to Germany because I didn't get a job there, right? And now I have gotten into the track that gets me to a job in Germany. So now I have to actually think, what do I have to do before I go, right? So far, I've made this little list with things that I want to pack: hard drives, streaming setup, clothes, book list. So this is not a thing of the things that I want, but a list of the things that I have to do, right? And what does this mean, for example? That I have to think about what things to pack when I go. I'm going in summer, well, spring, summer, but I think it still will be cold early March. So I have to pack some hot clothes for the summer, some winter clothes for this kind of transition period, maybe. Tough stuff. Hard drives. I want to back up the shit that I have, right? The shit that I have. And put it somewhere. Streaming setup. I would like to continue streaming, so I need to know what do I want to take there. Camera, probably, things that plug into there, but do I take lights or do I buy them there, right? These kind of things. For example, tidying up room, throwing away stuff. All of this place, right, below the bed, the area below bed. That is kind of the main problem area, but also clothes, right? I have a lot of clothes and I could, in the meantime, think of what to throw away. I also have a project of, I have saved many of my receipts and I'm kind of creating an album where I put them all in there, kind of collecting them. And I think I'm doing that as well, right? I want to finish doing that before I go. Finish album with tickets, receipts. I think I also wanted to play Driver San Francisco, right? To finish Driver San Francisco for the PS3, and maybe also getting some other games for the PS3, right? Potentially other PS3 games, but I don't want to add kind of just games just to add, for example. But some of them that I wanted to try are like Ratchet and Clank. There are some classics that I've wanted to try that I haven't ever done it, and maybe now that I'm going to be enjoying my PS3 until March for the last time, I guess, because I don't think I will buy a second-hand PS3 in Germany, right? Maybe I could do it, to be honest, but I don't think I'll do it. I think maybe I should also scan important documents. So, for example, I have some of them already scanned, like, for example, marks, certificates, some things like this, like my title, well, not my title, how do you call this? Like my graduation certificate, those kind of things, right? My university degree, I have some of those, but maybe I should think of what else to scan that could be handy over there. I'd love to see that. Lol, I played Ratchet and Clank when I was little. I don't know if I can stream. I think I could. I could get another capture card. Okay, I'll get a capture card first. I'll get it already on AliExpress because they take a while to arrive. I'll get a capture card, so I have two, just in case I want to stream the PS3 game. I'm not sure if the Ratchet and Clank PS3 games are like the same as the ones you played, though. But yeah, they probably have like some nostalgic element still. Scan important documents. Let's just add this kind of go over lists. Racing tracks poster. Motor related things in the Germany sitios. If it's not a bother, I don't know either. Nah, it's not a bother. It's like I just right now I can't do it because I think I don't have the thing, but it's not a bother. It's like the same amount of bother, I think, to not stream it than to stream it. Because I still have to plug in the PS3 to the monitor, those kind of things. I've added go over lists so that I look up some of the lists that I have written to guess what things I could do. I have a poster with some racing tracks, and there are some in Germany, Austria, some of them in the area, obviously the Nürburgring, right? But there are some others that maybe are closer. I think Nürburgring, for example, that one is closer to Munich than the Nürburgring, those things. So maybe check those out. I also have a motor automotive industry related things in Germany, a list of those things. So maybe go over that list, I guess, in preparation and anticipation, in like also kind of sorting it, which ones are in Munich, which ones are a couple of hours away for a weekend, which ones are like, okay, these needs a little bit more time, or things like this, right? Or the things that need more time, maybe it's worth grouping them together for a single event, that kind of thing. And also just regular places in general. I have some in Hamburg, some in Berlin. I don't think I have many in Munich, actually, because there are like mostly food related, the random ones. But yeah, to go over them. And also, like, countries, maybe also think it's like, don't forget nearby countries. I added this, don't forget nearby countries, because, for example, Munich is like at the south east, so it's actually pretty close. Not super close, but I would say it's probably as close to Berlin as it is to Vienna, I would say, right? I can't really picture it in my mind right now, but it's probably not that far away. Maybe not Vienna. Salzburg, it's like 2 hours away. Salzburg is really close. Vienna, not sure. Maps. There are mountains too, right? But Munich. ¿Cómo llegar desde Vienna? 4 hours. It's actually closer. I was right. Liechtenstein. I've never been to Liechtenstein. I'm going to Liechtenstein when I go to Germany. Innsbruck. I would love to fly into Innsbruck. It's so fucking close that I don't think there are like planes to there, though. Because the Innsbruck approach is so cool. The airport. This is the airport. I think I also never went to Liechtenstein. Yeah, but it's like you are pretty far away, right? It's like if you're in Berlin, Liechtenstein's like 10 hours away, right? Munich, Vaduz. It's like from Munich, it's like 3 hours away in car. 4 hours in train. From Berlin, it's like 12 hours in train and like 8 hours in car. It's like if you have never been to Poland, that would be strange because it's like really close, right? It's like I'm not sure if Gorzów, Wielkopolski is like interesting, but Poznan is pretty interesting. I think Lodz is also interesting, or like Wrocław. You mentioned that you have been to this place, right? To Katowice for this kind of games event, right? Or like to Szczecin. Szczecin. Then maybe you can fly there if you visit Berlin and plan to live again. That's interesting, actually, yeah. It's like if I visit Berlin, I could go by bus or like Flixbus or some shit like that. Then I fly to Innsbruck and then I take the train to Munich. That would be interesting. Taking the Innsbruck, Garmisch-Partenkirchen, München train, I'm sure there's like a route like that. Österreich. No, I was in Cologne, I think, for the games. I thought it was like the Katowice one. In Katowice, for some reason, there are always like some international championship of like some kind of esports. But yeah, it's like actually Prague is closer than Berlin from Munich. It's almost closer than Leipzig. It's like, what the fuck is this? This line. What is this line? Is it a river? Narodní park Šumava. National Park Bayerisches Wald. Nova Pech. Česká Kubice. Some mountains, I guess. Are they called like the Carpathes or something like that? Ratisbona. This is the city, Regensburg. This is the city where you have been. I have already been to Salzburg, and yet Salzburg is like really close to Munich. I mean, it's like still a couple of hours, but... Linz. Linz is also famous for some reason, right? I like Bratislava. I like this place. Actually, this part of Italy, I've never been. Maybe it could be interesting to cross the Alps and go to Bolzano. Munich. Oh, Berlin is only 4 hours away because of the ICE. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Of course, then it's closer to Prague for sure, right? 5 hours. 4 hours in car, so if it's like 5 hours in car to Germany, to Berlin. I wonder if there are like record speed, right? Maybe some fucking guy did it in like 2 hours and a half because he went 300 kph on some Mercedes car with like 2 tanks of fuel or some shit like that. Carlo Vivari. Here, a friend of mine, the one who lives in Leipzig, has been with the girlfriend he had at the time. He went here to Carlo Vivari. He has a car, though. It's like with car, it's easier. Maybe I should just zoom like this and think, okay, what's cool over here? I have this place saved in Augsburg. I have this place saved in Book. The friend of mine works, I think, over here in like Berching or someplace like this. No, it's more to the north. I'll have to look at it. Giengen, maybe, someplace like this. It has a weird name, but it's short. And I guess I'll have to go see him. He has already been to the Nürburgring. I actually don't know where the Nürburgring is. Hockenheim? Nürburgring. Oh, it's so to the left. It's like basically France. Basically Belgium or France or whatever. Never really thought about it, lol, but probably. From Paris to Berlin. Okay, I'm ending the video. I forgot that I was recording something. Okay, so for the moment, I'm ending the video. These are all of the things that I've thought of right now. But maybe I will think of more things in the future. But for the moment, I would like to take at least this into account. I have probably more work to do in terms of like classifying the things and actually doing the things. But for the moment, I have gone over some important things that, well, not important, but some things that I would like to do before I leave. I think it's interesting to do these kind of videos, right? It's like, I'm not leaving yet, but I'm thinking of. So why not make a video about it? $51.38. This one is probably it. Lol, I also forgot. How is the video called? What do I want to do before moving to Germany? Bloop. What kind of timestamps are there here? So what do I want to do before I move to Germany? I made this video a couple of 4 months ago that was titled "What will I do if I don't go to Germany?" where I talked about the things that I would do if I didn't go to Germany because I didn't get a job there, right? And now I have gotten into the track that gets me to a job in Germany. So now I have to actually think, what do I have to do before I go, right? So far, I've made this little list. Oops. Was ist das? With things that I want to pack, hard drives, streaming setup, clothes, book list. So this is not a thing of the things that I want, but a list of the things that I have to do. And what does this mean, for example? That I have to think about what things to pack. Well, streaming setup, I would bring up room to put in the meantime, going away stuff with them there, right? These kind of things. For example, taking up and put it somewhere. Streaming setup, I would like to continue streaming, so I know I need to know what do I want to take there. Camera, probably things that plug into there, but do I take lights or do I buy them there, right? These kind of things. For example, taking 137, doing. Well, with your glasses, when you look at the screen in some way, it looked like you had those anime blushes, but in blue. Let's see if I can see my own camera. Like this. Ooh. Up room with stuff. All of this place, right, below the bed, the area below bed. That is kind of the main problem area. But also clothes, right? I have a lot of clothes and I could, in the meantime, think of what to throw away. I also have a project of, I have saved many of my receipts and I'm kind of creating an album where I put them all in there, kind of collecting them. And I think I'm doing that as well, right? I want to finish doing that before I go. I think I also wanted to play drivers in there, kind of collecting them. And I think I also have a project of, I have saved many of my receipts and I'm kind of creating an album where I put them all in there, kind of collecting them. And I think I'm doing that as well, right? I want to finish doing that before I go. I think I also wanted to play Driver San Francisco, right? To finish Driver San Francisco for the PS3, and maybe also getting some other games for the PS3, right? Potentially other PS3 games, but I don't want to add kind of just games just to add, for example. But some of them that I wanted to try are like Ratchet & Clank. There are some classics. San Francisco, right? To finish Driver San Francisco for the PS3, and maybe also getting some other games for the PS3, right? Potentially other PS3 games. but I don't want to add kind of just games, just one, for example. But some of them that I wanted to try are like Ratchet & Clank. There are some classics that I've wanted to try, that I haven't ever done it. And maybe now that I'm going to be enjoying my PS3 until March for the last time, I guess, because I don't think I will buy a new PS3. I have some of them already. I have some of documents. So, for example, I have some of them already scanned. For example, marks, certificates, some things like this, like my title, not my title, how do you call this? Graduate, like my graduation certificate, those kind of things, right? A university degree. I have some of those, but some recent tracks, and that could be handy over there. I've added go over lists so that I look up some of the lists that I have written to guess what things I could do. I have a poster with some racing tracks, and there are some in the random. But maybe I have gone over some important things that, well, not important, but some things that I would like to do before I leave. Let's tweet this again. From Coscorro Drift, Germany. Let's see, más reciente. Poster. Okay, now I am finishing the video. Sorry, the stream. Thank you for watching and being here, and see you next week. Hope your week goes well. Hope mine goes well as well too. Bye. Cold.